Yes, there you are, Dr. Steinke. It's good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
Great, Paula.
All right. So we're here to talk today about DenVantage for Business. And most everyone's heard of DenVantage by now in our group, which is a great membership program that you guys developed. And so tell us a little bit about you and your practice before we get started into the DenVantage for Business.
Good, Paula. That amazingly enough, I am going on my 40th year of being a dentist.
Awesome.
And for the last 15 years, I've been very, very blessed to be practicing with my daughter, Hillary Caruso. And so our practice is Steinke & Caruso Dental Care. And then 3 years ago, we had join us another member that most people are familiar with. It's Kevin Devine. And Kevin sold his practice in Illinois and moved to Maine and has been practicing with us. And that has been a really terrific experience for the three of us. We all get along so well, and we have two different practices, one in rural Maine. It's north of Bangor. It's actually in a county the size of Connecticut and only has 18,000 people. And so this is rural Maine. But our second practice overlooks Acadia National Park by Ellsworth, and it's called Sorrento Dental Associates.
Beautiful. Yeah, I see the pictures, and I've been in Maine in January with all the snow, so it's very beautiful, and you have an amazing practice. So tell us about how you incorporated DenVantage, how you developed that a little earlier, a few years ago.
Well, we've always been in a mastermind, and for many, many years, and Kevin was in the mastermind, and with two other doctors, Dave Peer and Ted Morgan, and the four of us would go around the country and we'd go to continuing education and get together. And the three doctors, Ted, Dave, and I, would get together on a quarterly basis. And Kevin sometimes could make it, but he was in Illinois. But we would get together and just enjoy one another, talk about the issues we're having. We'd always do an activity and have fun. But that is where DenVantage came from, because a few years ago, it's 7 years ago, that we were starting to see a slowdown in our practices. And all of us were finding that. And you had talked actually about some membership things, and Dave said, hey, let's develop a plan for our practices and based on a fee for service and make it right. And so we got together and made our membership plan, and we called it Dental Health Advantage Plan at first, and we took it to our practices and individually did it for about a year and a half. Then we got back together, the three practices, and within that, we said, what's the best? What worked, what didn't work? And we made this and consolidated into DenVantage and then made it web-based so anybody could sign up. It's been an amazing thing for us. And, Paula, we now have over 1,000 patients in our practice that are DenVantage members. You know, that makes it so every day we have a good number of patients every day that are DenVantage. So in our own practice, we have seen the benefit so much that we really think of the DenVantage patient as our real patient, and the real fee is our DenVantage fee, because those people are our ideal patients. They show up for their appointments, they pay at the time of service, and it's been tracked well that their treatment plans are higher because they don't have this insurance mentality of, I can only do this amount this year.
That's
they
right.
They get savings on everything they do in the practice,
absolutely.
and it makes a difference. So we really think of it now that our DenVantage patients are our base practice, and people with dental insurance or not DenVantage actually pay a premium for not being DenVantage.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, so, and this actually supported your practice in a transition from dropping an insurance plan and it was like a bump in the road. Nothing happened. You're actually bigger than you were before you were on contract. So that's an amazing story right there in of itself.
Right. We were seeing Delta Dental get more and more expensive and have less plans. And I was a premium member of Delta for 35 years, and then it just got worse and worse. So we ended it and have not seen any ramifications from it.
Exactly. That's a great story right there. So in the DenVantage for Business, how did you come up with this concept and create this it's really a marketing strategy for dental offices?
It is, and what we found, Paula, was that small business can't afford dental insurance. That the small business has to pay a big premium to provide dental insurance to their employees, because with a small number of employees, the dental insurance company pays a lot, because they know that only 40% of the people in these big companies actually use the benefits. So that's where they make their money. But in a small business, most everybody's going to use it, so they can't make a profit, so they have to charge more. So there's very few small businesses, amazingly enough, that can afford a dental insurance plan. And when they do, Paula, many times they try this plan that the employee pays the whole premium. And those plans are awful. They have large deductibilities. They don't cover a lot. They have low maximums. And most everybody who utilizes those plans hate them.
You're exactly right, and the insurance companies will publish reports every once in a while that only 40% of their subscribers 50% will use their plan. So to me, it dispels the myth that people don't come because they don't have insurance. That's not the real reason.
Exactly right, and with DenVantage, they are really motivated to come because, with DenVantage, I know a lot of the people listening know the basics of it, but DenVantage only interacts with the preventive portion. So with the DenVantage monthly fee of, let's say it's $28 to $30, each doctor is responsible and can adjust that. That's completely up to them. But they get the 2 dental cleanings a year, the doctor's examination, and all necessary preventive x-rays under that one fee. So then when the refrigerator breaks, your patients aren't going to cancel the appointment because they have to pay for the refrigerator breaking. DenVantage in our practice really has transformed so many times a sporadic patient, one that comes in when they have a problem, but then disappears for a couple years, or comes in for a couple preventive appointments and then disappears or does their own plan. They only come in once a year. They cancel every other one. Everybody's got that. But that transforms the sporadic patient to a great patient that comes in for their appointments, does the preventive, and it makes it so for the patient it's good because they don't have these emergencies. We catch things small. So it's a win-win for both the practice and the patient.
Absolutely, and I have seen that play out. You're absolutely right. So when we're marketing to the business, you mentioned it only pays for the employees that participate. Is that right?
Right. So for DenVantage for business, that it's a fraction of the cost of the insurance that the employer would have to pay if the employer is paying for it. And with this environment of low unemployment, there's a lot of competition for good employees.
You're
so it
right.
attracts more applicants when hiring. You only pay for the employees who use it, because that's what you were just saying, Paula, that only the employees that actually want to have the dental plan are being charged by DenVantage. So it saves the small business a lot of money, because under the other plan, they're paying for every employee they have.
That's right. That's a good point, and I like that point about the competitive hiring market right now. So
Right.
this really
and
does.
also, absenteeism is a problem. So having a dental plan, makes a healthier workforce because they aren't going to have the toothache and have to miss work to go to the dentist. We're catching things well, and it decreases absenteeism.
That's awesome. So, tell us about the actual cost to the dentist for this.
Okay, now we have transformed DenVantage tremendously over the years. We continue to improve it, and one of the wonderful things about DenVantage is that the owners, the partners, are utilizing it on a daily basis. As I just said, we have over 1,000 people in our own practice in Steinke Dental Care. So we are continually improving it. And what we've just done in the last few months is made it called DenVantage Simple. Everything we do, Paula, is meant to make it simple. There's no sign-up fee for dentists in DenVantage. We only take out of the monthly amount that the patient pays, let's say it's $28 to $30 per month for this preventive portion, DenVantage only takes $3. Even if it's a perio program that's $60 a month, we only take $3. So this is very simple. So for a dental practice to have no admin, that they don't have to send out bills, people come to the appointment more. They don't need to collect a fee at the end of the appointment. For $3 a month, this is inexpensive.
Wow. Yeah, that really is. So there's a processing fee on top of this or not?
There's a processing fee not from the dentist. The employee pays a one-time processing or initial fee to get it going and on there. But for the dentist, to have the dentist have their own website on DenVantage and to be able to accept DenVantage patients, to have their whole area of their own, it costs nothing to the dentist. It's only that $3 per patient per month.
And that includes your credit card fee, your credit card processing.
And that $3 even includes the credit card fee for the processing.
Wow, that really is simple. I get it. All right. Okay, so keep going. Tell us about the business. Yeah.
Right. So now in the business, that what we do is we would go in a specific geographic area. So let's say this is Portland, Maine, and we're going to go into a community, and it's best if we have some DenVantage dentists in it. And because when we go to the employer, we say, hey, we want to have this great benefit for your employees, and the employees then, if their dentist is a DenVantage dentist, that's great. If they're not, DenVantage will be able to contact that employee. There's a place right on our website that the employee puts in, hey, contact my dentist. So we're going to go to Dr. Smith and say, your employee would like to have this dental benefit. Will you accept this employee? And we're going to make it simple for the dentist to sign up. So for the employee, they're going to be able to easily have that benefit with their dentist. And so as we go into these communities, that we're going to go to the small business and be able to present this plan that's going to have, they're only going to pay for the participants. It's going to have maximum employee benefit because every dollar that goes in goes towards dental services, not like dental insurance.
Oh, right.
100% of the preventive portion is paid for the employee. So let's say the employer says, okay, yes, I'll sign up for this. I'll provide this plan for my employees. Well, the employer decides how much of this monthly fee they're going to cover. So they can cover it all. Let's say they decide they're going to cover $28 a month or $25 a month. The dentist himself decides on the exact amount. And so
Gotcha.
let's say the employer says, I'll cover $25 a month. The employee, this is going to be so simple. We've altered our website just recently, and it's now just rolling out, Paula.
Okay.
That the employee is going to be able to go on to our website, just like if they weren't an employee for the business. They're going to go on. They're going to be able to use a code, go into their small business section, and they're going to find out exactly what their employer is going to cover. Mm-hmm. The employer is going to cover, by definition, the employer is going to cover the initial setup fee, which is small. It's like $50. And then the employer will cover a portion of the monthly, and anything the employer doesn't cover, like what if the employee wants to put their other family members on, their spouse and their kids, the employee signs up, and they're going to be able to go directly on, sign up, and be going immediately. And the human resources, the HR, doesn't have to do anything. This is so simple for the small business that they don't have to do anything. There's no, going for each employee, signing them up. No, that we're going to do it all for the employer.
That is so special, because if it is a small business, they're going to be busy, limited manpower, people power to implement something like this. So that's a great advantage for them to be able to have it easy, so easy. I really get why you're calling it simple. Makes sense. So now, when the patient comes to see the dentist, the treatment planning, that's between the patient and the dentist at that point, right?
Right. So the employee comes in, or the patient comes in. They have their dental cleaning, they have their dental examination, they have their necessary preventive X-rays. That's all included in the plan, in the membership plan. And so when they get done at the end of the appointment, they just walk out. They make their next appointment, they walk out. Now, if they need something, let's say they need a crown, they need some other services, the dentist is going to provide savings for all other services for that patient, and that is going to be based on what the dentist wants to give. So let's say they need to have a crown and a root canal. Those are going to be services that the dentist decides, I'm going to give a savings. Now, the dentist himself decides on what those savings are. And so traditionally, even in the partner practices, Paula, it varies. It varies anything from 10% to 15%. We have some dentists, or young dentists, they want to really attract patients, and they are giving 20%. But we suggest not having a large discount. That's the whole big thing. You are not discounting your fees a lot. Our practice, very honestly, gives about 15% for all the regular services. And when you give this discount, you never talk about, I am giving a 15% discount. You always say it in terms of savings. So a crown is not a 15% discount. It is, you are saving $180 on the price of your crown. You always talk, and the team always talks in terms of saving amount, not percentage amounts.
I like that. That's a unique thing about DenVantage as well, and I like it that the doctor's in control. You're not dictating what they have to offer in the savings. They can change that and do it the way they want to, and even it's not across the board for each fee. You've got certain fees you can offer certain savings, and certain fees you can offer a different savings. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, let's say, because all areas have savings. So let's say the doctor wants to promote bleaching. Okay, obviously dental insurances don't cover bleaching or cosmetics, but the doctor might want to have a more savings for those types of services. But for some services that have a high overhead, they're not going to give as much savings. So we can help guide that. Meg who is our person that really helps out the doctor so much on this, can provide guidelines and give what other dentists are doing, so it's going to be simple for the doctor to decide what savings they're going to give.
Oh, that's very helpful. Yes, of course. Meg is wonderful. She can definitely help. So a question I get a lot is, what do you do about a patient that wants to put things on Care Credit? How do you handle that?
That's a good question, Paula, because that even varies. Within our our practices within the partners. That two of our practices don't offer DenVantage, don't offer Care Credit at all. That they say, you've got to pay at the time of service. Specifically, our office allows for Care Credit, but what we do is we just reduce the amount of the savings, the cost of the Care Credit. So let's say Care Credit is going to cost 7%. We just reduce the savings that the patient is getting by that 7%. So their savings will be a little bit less, but they still get a great savings for it, and they can use Care Credit.
That makes sense. That's easy. Okay, that definitely makes sense. And I think it is an advantage to have some kind of spread out payment option for the patient on larger cases. Yeah.
Well, we've always felt that. We're in a very rural, very poor county. Actually, very honestly, our main practice is like the second or third poorest county east of the Mississippi. So people, do need some help. So they don't have, if they have a large treatment plan, many of them can't just write out a check. So we feel that Care Credit is a good benefit, and our patients utilize it quite a bit.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you shared that. Thank you for sharing that. I have a lot of doctors say, well, he's probably in a big metro area and everybody's wealthy, and he doesn't understand where I am here in the country. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the case. Not the case. So
that's right. Well, the other thing, Paula, just to back up, and the other aspect is a lot of dentists say, well, my patients don't need, don't need DenVantage. They can afford to pay themselves. So why would I want to discount my fees for somebody who's willing to pay? And our other practice, it's quite a contrast. Our practice overlooking Acadia National Park, we have literally in our practice billionaires. And those patients, amazingly enough, those patients sign up for DenVantage. And it's something that makes it simple. They can just have their services, and somebody that's wealthy doesn't mean that that they don't like having a savings. They're wealthy for a reason.
They'll say that's how they got there.
That's right.
And I think it's also about retention. And when it's out of sight, out of mind, it's already taken care of. It's an auto draft every month.
That's right.
They never have to worry about it. When they come in, it's done. It's paid for. They don't have to check out. I mean, it makes it easier for them to be a member. Absolutely.
It does. It makes it simple, and also they don't have to wait for different than dental insurance. They have to wait for 6 months and a day. Some of them, we have a lot of these people that are summer people that leave for us now. They leave in October, November, so they have one just before they leave, and then when they get back, they have their second one. So sometimes it's 5 months and 7 months. It's not 6 months. There's no regulation in terms of you have to have it at 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Then we're also talking about retired folks who lose their benefits. We didn't even mention that yet, but a lot of people that are retiring lose their dental and don't carry that with them.
We've had so many people that they're used to, psychologically they're used to having a dental plan. So now they retire and they don't have one. DenVantage is a great alternative, is a great answer for them because they get a dental fit and it's a good plan. Most of these other plans for retirees are really terrible insurance plans.
They are.
These not to mention the specific ones, but we feel badly when these retired people say, "Oh yes, I signed up for this this dental implant from this group that I'm with, and it's just terrible.
It is. It is very sad. So, one of the things about marketing a dental practice with this is these practices that are hearing this today, they're going to get there first in their community to roll this out, and it helps them stand out, create a niche, and be unique. So how would you recommend that we get this into the community? Would we have someone like a specialist office has, a marketing person, and go visit these businesses and give them information? What?
That's a great question, Paula. And our recommendation right now, as we're looking at for DenVantage for business, is the individual practice. Get it going. Get your team motivated. Start signing up patients, and get DenVantage really going well in your practice. Then contact us and say, we'd like to really go into and approach some small businesses. Well, when you are there and there's not as many practices in the small community, as we go to the small businesses, you're going to be the one that does it best. And so you can get some new people from that. And also, if you happen to have in our formula here is going out to geographic areas that we're not directly attached to, if it's in a different state or different part of the country, it's going to be beneficial if you do have an employee that might want to go out and approach the small businesses, and we'll work with the person. And so make it easy, make it simple, that we can approach these small businesses.
So they can be an ambassador. I was an ambassador for the chamber when I worked in the practice, and we always practice the concept of be interested in the business before you're interesting about what you have to offer. And so you're going to provide them with some information to take to the businesses. Is that right?
Absolutely. We have packets for the dentist if you're interested in that in terms of signing up. But then once you're a DenVantage client and you want to put DenVantage for business out to the community, we're going to be able to provide you with a lot of information, PowerPoints, we have written things, we have one-pagers. We're going to provide you with a lot of information so you can go out into the community.
Awesome. Are you going to make another grumpy old dentist video?
Yeah, those are good ones. Yeah, if the people listening haven't gone on to YouTube for DenVantage and watched our grumpy old dentist, that's always entertaining. And we enjoyed doing the grumpy old dentist and talk about we're going to do some more of them. For those who know Kevin, you got to go on the DenVantage YouTube section and watch Kevin run. It is the most hilarious thing ever. And so this is something. But again, as you go into approaching small business, my recommendation probably wouldn't be to take the grumpy old dentist to the small business. I'm not so sure that's the presentation, but they are very entertaining and talk about the state of the art of dental insurance and what could make a dentist grumpy.
Exactly. I love them. I think they're awesome. So how can we contact you or DenVantage, or give us some information here? And I will also include this on the YouTube that I send out. So
yes. So we are www.denvantage.com, and our email address is info@denvantage.com. Specifically, Meg is going to be a tremendous help to you, and so you can go meg@denvantage.com. If you want to contact me, contact Dan@denvantage.com. Our phone number is area 207-266-8434. That's 207-266-8434.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us, and I'll get the word out to our doctors, and I'm sure they'll have some questions, and This is very exciting and a great way to market your practice, and very, very simple. Thank you for making it simple.
Paul, and thank you for all your help to our practice and DenVantage. You've been a big help to us, and we're excited about this aspect, and obviously we're excited about DenVantage.
Well, thank you. I am too, and it's good to talk with you. Thanks for making time today.
Thanks, and for us introducing DenVantage for Business. It's simple.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.